Hey everyone, welcome back to Full Time and welcome back to AFTV. Arsenal have done it. Have they, how do you put it? Righted the wrongs? They right the...
Yeah.
Anyway.
Of the opening night of the Premier League, yeah.
That is the one. When you look at what happened, Brentford, I remember doing this full-time show. It was the debut full-time show. We hadn't done it in this mould before with people sending videos in. And I thought, why do I have to go through, everyone's just going to be so down.
Yeah.
But today is such a different story.
It is.
1 year on. It's so many parallels. Friday night, 8 p.m, London club away from home. With the spotlight very much on Arsenal to see what a big spend would yield. And last year we had our problems, but this year we came in with what felt like a settled team, and wow, did Arsenal make a good start.
Yeah, we did. I thought I was really impressed with the performance. I was really impressed with the way that the team turned up mentally. Physically, we matched Crystal Palace, which is something that we usually get bullied by these teams, Talking about Brentford or last season, I remember when I was abroad, I was in Cyprus trying to enjoy my holiday, and then it got ruined after watching that performance. But, if we cast our minds now to this game and this actual performance, it was a really, really good one. It was a convincing one for me. I know a lot of people, speaking to a lot of fans.
We're going to break that down.
So, we'll talk about it a bit more.
Yeah, and obviously, as we said, get your videos in, guys. We really want to know your thoughts. Because I think a lot of, when people are going around saying it was a good performance, and by the way, I'm on that side of things, it's not because I sat there and saw something different and, have come away and go, wow, Arsenal dominated 90 minutes. That was great. They didn't. They didn't. But what they did was, I think they managed key parts of the game well. Yeah. And I think Palace are always going to make it difficult for you. And I'll always stress how many teams struggle there across the season. And for Arsenal to come out of it, well, A, unscathed because we didn't concede a goal. B, with 3 points. But also, bar the Eze chance, were there many that you thought, they definitely should have scored that?
No, it was more one-on-one isolated chances like Zaha running at Ben White, who we will talk about. Obviously,
yeah, we've got to talk about him.
No, I didn't really feel that I was worried in that sense. Offsides, a couple offsides, but there was no clear cut apart from the Eze chance. There wasn't a clear cut where you could say, right, they opened us up. Yeah. Which makes me feel good.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It makes me feel good.
Well, look, as we said on this new structure for Full Time, what we're going to be doing, we'll be going through your videos a little bit later in the show. Not long, but what we're going to do is just break down the match kind of from start to finish. On our end, how we saw it, and obviously everything starts with the starting 11. Yeah. And a starting 11 that went out against Chelsea out in Orlando. I was very blessed to be there. Wow. What a performance they put on. Sevilla equally as impressive, but here we are 2 weeks on from that Chelsea performance. The same team, same clean sheet. Yep. Yes, less goals, but still a lot to be happy about. What did you make of the fact that we went in with a settled side?
It's just about, I think it was more about the consistency. It's about bringing, Arteta, when you listen to him, especially the people that have probably watched the documentary, and he's talking about bringing that cohesion amongst the group of players, and everyone's getting used to each other. So we had a fantastic pre-season. Like you said, you're talking about the performances, Chelsea, Sevilla, but to go into this game and to put a performance in like that under a lot of pressure. Let's be honest. The whole world was watching us, and they're waiting for us. They're waiting for our downfall. Yep. Everyone was waiting. So I'm really relieved that we've managed to prove certain people wrong, or a lot of people wrong, and we're not going to be the laughing stock of the weekend over the weekend. Yeah.
We can just enjoy Premier League
football.
We can just enjoy I've got to say, I'm now like, bring on the Premier League. I'm ready to just sit down, order food I shouldn't order.
That's it.
Absolutely binge on Premier League football and just go, what's everyone about?
I'm going to watch Match of the Day over and over again.
I know. We're going to have to wait till tomorrow. But,
that's true.
But that's it. When you get this first game of the season, you have the opportunity to sort of make a bit of a statement. Yeah. And enjoy your weekend, or suffer through 2 days of everyone's winning. And but Arsenal, I think they went out. Listen, you don't know what's said in these. Well, I say we don't know. All or Nothing documentary is out, but generally we don't know what's said in these, pre-match talks or whatever. No. I'd love to know whether anything was mentioned about last year, whether there was anything just be like, remember, because I'm not one to just always. Listen, I like to give Arsenal excuse. I'm an Arsenal fan. But last year, I remember kind of looking at the lack of prep and everything. And, I was critical. But I just felt that the general response lacked so much context to the players we were missing, the situation we were on the day.
Yeah.
You know, you find out later in the season that people are having games called off because of COVID case or whatever. And no one wanted to give us that kind of context.
No.
But if I'm a manager, while I don't think, you know, you should be looking at excuses at the time, I'd be using that as fuel right now.
100%.
To remember what people said, you know?
100%. And I think, you know, going back to, you know, what you're saying about last season, and even looking at the documentary, you get to see another side of it, you know, the psychological aspect or the impact of certain players that they're not settled yet. Some are sick, they got personal issues, and it can affect your performance. And like you said, a lot of people didn't want to mention that. It was just more, oh, look, Arsenal unprofessional, they haven't turned up with a strong side, their side is not strong enough, etc., etc. So I'm pretty sure Arteta, from watching what he's been saying, I'm pretty sure he would have mentioned it, and he would have said, right, go out there and you show everyone what you're made of, and you prove everyone wrong, because I think he's creating this thing where it's us against them, you know?
Yeah, he does love that siege mentality, and he also, I think, we talked about drawing from the Brentford defeat last season, but also Robbie points at the Palace 3-0 defeat last year as also the moment in which we, you know, basically lost momentum in our race to top four, even though we sort of pulled it back for a little bit. And I kind of get what he means. And again, that will be something, come in and right the wrongs of Selhurst Park. And, you know, so I enjoyed that. Let's talk about what I think was a first half completely, the first 30 minutes completely controlled by Arsenal. What do you make of it?
I just thought we started off well. I thought that the tempo was right. I thought that the structure of the team was right. There was a moment where Crystal Palace, I think they did have the ball for a few minutes, and then once the ball got turned over to us, you saw Gabriel get onto the ball, you saw Saliba, and I was encouraging them, and I said, look, just get a taste of the game, get a feel for it, set the tempo. You'll be the dominant figure within the team, and you saw that. And like I said, for a good 30 minutes or so, we was at them. We questioned them. We said, all right, cool, we're at your place, but we're going to stick it on you, you know, so to speak. So I was just happy to see that, because I think sometimes we can come across as very submissive, you know, and when we get overpowered by a team physically, that's when we crumble. So I get what Robbie was saying, and a few other people mentioned it, in terms of this is a different type of win. Like you said, it's not we've popped it around them and we've kept 80% of possession throughout the game. This is, we've grinded hard, we've taken a few bumps and bruises, but we've come out the other side, clean sheet, 3 points, and we scored 2 goals, or, you know, obviously an own goal. So I was happy with it. I just think that at times, I know I mentioned about us pressing, and then we kind of took our foot off the pedal, and I said, oh yeah, that's credit to the team. But I think that's also where we need to improve when you compare us to, or when you look at the higher level teams, so Liverpool and City, they're able to sustain it for a longer period of time. And that's something that I feel as a group of players we need to build that as well. But
yeah, you know what I really liked about the first half? It wasn't just that Arsenal had more of the ball and all that. It was that we were creating chances, we were causing havoc with our movement and our attacking play, but also everyone was, I guess, delivering a performance that was, how do I explain it? It was like, it was what you'd expect them at their best to look like. So Jesus, you know, flicking it behind, constantly spinning, Martinelli looking dangerous, Saka taking people on inside, outside. I thought Zinchenko, Partey and White just had real control of that midfield. They did. Odegaard and Xhaka again a little bit more forward, but everyone was just, you know, pass move. Just Zinchenko looked so comfortable in possession.
He did. I mean, we've heard it before. You know, you speak to some of the Man City players and they talk about how good he is, one-touch football. You saw a little glimpse of it. Very calm under pressure. You know, never panicked. Found a pass, nice little one-touch, and then receiving it in space. And it makes so much of a difference when you've got a player that's able to give the ball, but then also he's willing to receive it back. And then you even touched upon Gabriel Jesus, like in terms of the movement that he has, but it's not just the movement, it's when he manages to get the ball and he keeps it.
He's a wriggler.
Yeah, you heard me screaming.
Like, you know, I've lost it. Oh my God, you killed me on the watch along.
He still got the ball.
If you guys haven't seen it, I'm sure there'll be a clip somewhere, we'll get one out.
Please clip it.
Kwan just shouted, he still got the ball. And it was so true, because he did that a few times. He thought, oh, he's lost it, unlucky. Oh my God, he's got it. Okay. And he just had this ability to always get a foot there, wriggle through. He just looked like, despite everything I've just said, I actually don't think he had as good a game as he did in the Sevilla and Chelsea pre-season games. Different occasion, atmosphere, whatever. But I felt that he let me put it this way. I hate saying it. With Aubameyang and Lacazette, who I did like, and I don't like always coming back.
Yeah,
it's not
right.
always fair. I won't do this all season, but I kind of felt if they were doing what they do at their best, they would deliver. But if what they do best wasn't there, then you kind of thought, well, what else have they kind of got to offer, if that makes sense? I think with Lacazette to agree, there was work rate. But with Jesus, I think you could see that actually the ball didn't always, even though he managed to wriggle through a few times, he wasn't getting lots of shots at goal. He wasn't being a massive goal threat. But he was still moving wide, allowing Martinelli to go forward. He was still always giving the defenders things to think about, and was always a problem.
He was, and I think for me as a defender, my biggest problem is playing against players like him. God forbid playing against a player that moves across the line. He's dropping deep. He's running in behind you. The only thing that I say, like you said, he didn't have the best of games, but he still impacted our game in terms of he was getting on the end of things. He was chasing down. He was putting Anderson's head down and Mark Gay, guy who's very good defenders, but especially compared to the last game where they had a breeze, they really had to work for it today. And that thing of actually shooting, that's the only thing I think. There was a few moments where he could have got a shot off. Just test the keeper.
Yeah. But we had a few moments like that, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly.
We had a few moments where in that first half, but also more so in the second half. But we were carving these openings. For whatever reason, we wouldn't shoot, or maybe we wanted to just, that whole Arsenal thing, which actually hasn't been true for a long time. But we were keeping possession really nicely. I think that comes with, Arteta having added lots of technicians in the team. You've got players like Ben White, who we're going to talk about him. And by the way, there is such a massive... Divide? What's the word? Yeah, divide, but just distance between how people rate his performance. I've not seen one person say he was okay. Everyone is saying, Zaha had him, or he had Zaha, and everyone's kind of on it. We'll talk about him more.
We'll talk about it.
But you add him, Saliba and Gabriel, very good on the ball, Zinchenko, and that's kind of your base. And then everyone in the team who's brought in, who's getting minutes under Arteta, they've got to be good on the ball. They've got to be able to look after it. And I think that was a big part of why we dominated that first 30 minutes and were able to create chances, was because we were so cultured and intelligent in possession. It started to swing a little bit, and I think it wasn't anything Palace did. I think it was Ramsdale, who I'm not on him. I think when you play out the back, you got to play it in the tough situations as well as the easy situations. Because you don't really gain an advantage from making an easy pass, because they're probably anticipating it. When you pull off a difficult pass and they're not expecting it, that's when you can turn and you can play through a more open team. But was that the moment for you that things started to turn around a little bit? Yeah,
and I think we seemed pretty much in control of the game, and then there was a lapse of concentration. Ramsdale, I mean, I love him to pieces, but I'm also going to expect a few mistakes because of how Arteta wants us to play out from the back. But then also, it's about making the right decisions, and there was two times where he didn't make the right decisions, and that invited a lot more pressure, encouraged the team, obviously, Crystal Palace, to get onto us a bit more. He did make amends in the game. He made some good saves, made some decent saves, but like you said, those are the points where you see a little bit of naivety within the players, and it tells their age as well, because an experienced goalkeeper would see that out, or just knock it out of play, regroup, shout out of everyone. But I think he was trying to be a bit too cute. He's being a bit too, big for his boots.
Do you know what my biggest issue is with that? I think it's the Edouard one, where it kind of deflected off and then it came to Saliba and all that. My biggest issue with all of that was, actually, the pass wasn't that difficult. He kind of went to rifle it when actually there was a pass inside, and I thought, listen, play out the back by all means. And okay, sometimes they're going to press, but that was an example of. It was a weird one for me.
No, it was.
I'm sort of reading everyone in the chat. I'm reading what people are saying on Twitter. Listen, very mixed feelings about that performance in general. On to the second half, though.
Yeah, go on.
And listen, Palace started well, and I think we kind of just got through that first 10 minutes. Eze, obviously, I think should have scored.
He should have, but I don't think he had the best. He didn't have the best of games. I expected more from him as a neutral fan. Let's just say, but because I'm a big fan of him. First half, he was very quiet. I think we managed to nullify him. Partey and Xhaka managed to keep him quiet in the first half. And then maybe the second half, Vieira said, try and find the pocket. So Zaha and him were kind of linking up a bit more. But then it came down to maybe lack of confidence, lack of conviction, maybe even fitness. This is the first game back in the Prem. And I did expect him to put it in the back of the net. I did, but I'm just so glad he didn't. And it's just those little moments in the game where you're like, you know what, you need it as a team. You need it. You need that luck. You need that bit of that little rub of the green just to get through it. So I'm happy it kind of went our way for once.
Yeah. Let's talk about Martinelli, who obviously got the goal, the first one, having missed that big chance.
Yes.
And listen, the watch-along couch weren't willing to let it go. But I can understand because, as I said at half-time, it's not about capitalising on every single chance you have. Arsenal need to make sure they capitalised on that period of dominance they had.
Yeah. I think the most important thing was for us was to just sustain control away from home at Palace. That was the main thing. Yes, it would have been great to get that goal. It was a great opening. I mean, Gabriel Jesus going through 1-2, nutmegging the other, and then you just expect the ball to just hit the back of the net. But I think people are saying that it was a pass. I do think it was a shot, but it just come off the heel of his foot and it just went wide. But
yeah, I think it was a shot. I think he thought, if I go near post, there's not much of the goal to aim for.
Yeah.
Where if I kind of go far post, there's a little bit more, and actually just put it way too far wide.
No, 100%. So it did kind of upset a few people, but I thought Martinelli, in terms of his gameplay, there's certain times he's receiving the ball and then he'll drop his shoulder and turn on the sixpence. Just those little moments. He
spins
there.
well, doesn't he?
Yeah. But it's different now because we used to rely on Martinelli. If it wasn't Saka, we used to rely on Martinelli. But now we've got another outlet in Gabriel Jesus where he does that as well. Yeah. And that's where it confuses the opposition because they're like, oh, should I go tight to him? Should I drop off? Should I go tight to Gabriel? Oh, no.
Yeah.
So I think that's where you're saying it's creating this whole fluidity within our squad where it's very difficult to pick up or to mark.
As Palace, I think in the second half started to have more of the ball, we saw that stat come up there, 60-something% of possession, maybe 70-something. And Arsenal was sort of hanging on at that point. There were, I think, two big debates that came from that time. Yeah. The Ben White debate and the subs debate. Which one should we do first? I'll leave it to you.
Let's do Ben White.
Let's do the Ben White debate.
Ben White,
Guys, with just a couple words, and we're going to read out some of your comments. What did you make of Ben White's performance? Very good, bad, very bad. Or maybe you're somewhere in the middle. What did you make of him?
I thought he was excellent at times. I thought he was really good. I think it showed a mature performance from someone who's not playing out and out as a right back. It's not easy to do. I mean, they say, oh yeah, it's a defender. He's still a defender, but completely different in terms of positional sense. And you're playing up against one of the most unorthodox, difficult,
horrible player.
He's a horrible player.
Let's be honest, Zaha is horrible.
He's very talented and
he's fast, he's strong, he's skillful. He's also got that like nastiness in that he's just like it almost feels like personal with him on the pitch.
He wants to embarrass you.
Exactly that. That's what I mean. His style is very personal.
Yeah, it's that typical, like when you're playing like 5-a-side or 6-a-side, especially when I used to play in South London, you get players like that are just hungry and they just want to they want to rub you on the ground in that sense. And it was a good matchup. I think probably before the game, everyone questioned that being probably the hardest matchup or competition between the two. But I thought he done well. Yeah, I think he came into it a bit more after he even received the yellow card. I think something mentally in his head was like, right, I can't make any more mistakes or I can't, jump in. There was a few times where Zaha got away from him. Yeah. And then that's where maybe Saliba came across or, that Saka came back or etc. But I just thought as a defensive performance, he didn't really put a foot wrong. He done the right things and he tried,
My thing...
Go on.
I thought Ben White was really good today. Yeah. I tweeted that he was excellent. Maybe that's a bit too far, but I thought he was very good. Yeah. Good, very good. Just because, first and foremost, Zaha is a phenomenal one-on-one player. Yeah. It's absolutely what he thrives on, and he's been doing that for years. So no one should be surprised that he can do this to a player, let alone a centre-back who's not really a right-back, but can cover there and has covered there well. The second thing I'd say is, just because a player gets round you, that's not always a sign of you having lost the battle. Let me explain what I mean, right?
Go on.
if Ben White is flying into Zaha and suddenly Zaha's running a goal, then okay, that's a problem. But did we ever see that today? Maybe once, maybe.
Yeah.
What we saw a lot of, in my opinion, was actually Ben White keeping pace with him quite well for a lot of the game. Getting tight to him, took the yellow card. I don't think he needed to in that situation, but fine, he did, and he managed himself well after that. He got in front of him quite a few times, but also the times he did kind of commit, Saliba swept up.
Yeah.
Now you can say, maybe I'm giving Ben White the benefit of the doubt here. You can say that Ben White was beaten, Saliba had to cover his back. Or you can say that Ben White forced a decision out of Zaha to go down the line, in which Saliba can then clean up and do the job.
Yeah.
That is also good understanding. It's like two centre-backs. When one goes for the header, they don't always win it.
No.
But what you're doing is you're making it difficult for that first number 9 or whoever, so that the other can sweep up.
Yeah.
And that is an understanding defensively. That is knowing what's behind you and forcing the opposition to make decisions. Now, maybe I'm naive looking at it that way, but it felt to me like a lot of Ben White's decisions with where to get tight with Zaha or not were pretty calculated. When he held him up in the penalty area and Saka gets back, Saka gets all the credit, and rightly so, because terrific work and a great tackle. But White's also slowed him down.
Yes.
And slowed him down enough for Arsenal to regroup and deal with that situation.
And
it's not easy.
It's not easy. And there's a few points that you make, and I 100% I agree. I think it's also to do with maybe the stigma of his price tag still, and people,
absolutely.
50 million, he's rubbish.
Also, Saliba's proving what he can do, and people are saying, well, why did we ever sign White when we had Saliba?
Yeah, but it's about creating that depth within the squad, and it's having options. Going back to what you said about, okay, two things that you mentioned, which is really good. Were you talking about, for me as a defender, what you're taught is to delay. Delay, don't have to commit, delay your player. That allows other people to get in position, other people to get in a position to cover you, and that's exactly what happened there. So I remember, I forgot who it was, I don't know if it was Holding. There was a game where someone was just going rash, he was just...
Holding against Spurs.
Right, Holding against Spurs, and you saw that type of defending where he was all over the place, where he was like, all right, I've got to get the first ball, I've got to get it. That's the wrong example. Exactly, that's the wrong way to play against that type of player like Song. That's the wrong way. You have to delay, you have to defend in numbers. Yes, you can try and go toe to toe with that person, but they'll beat you. Yeah. So it's about making sure that you're putting yourself in a position where, one, you're not going to get beaten easily, but then also the man who's behind you is able to cover you. So I thought they worked very well together as a partnership on that side. But yeah, Ben White, he done what he needed to do.
I think he absolutely did what he needed 100%. To do. And listen, of course, Zaha's going to have a few mini wins in a match, but what did it result in? Very little, in my opinion.
Yeah, you know what it is, just quickly, it's where when you're saying about the fans, and thank you to everyone that's commenting and leaving tweets and whatnot, but you also get the fans that are quite young, and they got that playground mentality, that's what I call it, where I used to work in a school, and you would watch people play, and they would nutmeg the person. Or even when I was in school, you nutmeg someone, everyone will just drop their drink or whatever. Oh my gosh, the game's done. Why? Because you just nutmeg the person, but then the other person will get the ball and then score. I think sometimes we glorify these small moments, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't, celebrate it when someone goes past a player, but we're forgetting about the fundamentals, and that's the difference between the younger players and the more mature players. They're like, right, yeah, I could nutmeg you, but I could also just get past you with a 1-2 and cross the ball in, and my team will score a goal. But
that's a really good point. I think that's a really good point. I asked you guys what you guys thought, and we've got loads of comments. Let's get into it. Right. One man says Zaha was cooking White, but White survived. Metallurgy said Ben White's performance was crucial to our win, and then it's refreshed, and I lost all the comments. I'm going to find them because you've all sent them in. Yeah, let me find them.
Wow. So
okay. I think I've stumbled across them again. Yeah. So we've got. Damn, because I can only go back so far, but Bunny Boy says good, Oysen says very good, Martin good, very good from More Than You Care to See. Ironic with a name like that. Peter says good but lacks the pace to play every game at right back. I thought he looked very quick, but yeah. AFC Cape Town says very good. Notorious GRD says Ben White excellent. What else we got? Alex says good, William says very good. That's fine. I don't want to be balanced. Well, there's some bads. Kadir says amazing. John says White handled Zaha proper. White covered well, says Etienne. White was better than Odegaard. Very different jobs, but yes, I'd agree with that. Yeah. Movie says amazing performance by Ben White. Someone did say bad.
Someone said about he was good, but he offers little going forward. Ben White.
Yeah,
that's all.
That's a yes. I don't actually think it's his job, to be fair.
Exactly.
But yeah. Olajide says, okay, he's not a right back. He had to face Zaha in his first game. Listen, and even that is like perfectly reasonable. He's not a right back and you're up against Zaha.
Exactly.
Like, bloody hell. What else? Most people saying good and some saying okay. There were some that said bad, but the general consensus is he had a good game. Let's get into the super chats. We'll just touch on that last goal and the big substitutions debate. Anthony too says, if Tommy is back, would you have him or White at right back? Fully fit, all at their best, Tomiyasu.
Yeah. I would probably have... I'll probably have Tommy. As much as I love White and I thought he'd done a job, I think I'd have Tomiyasu there. And then it's between probably Gabriel and White playing next to Saliba, I'd say. And you just keep that kind of rotation. But I think Tomiyasu gives you that extra going forward as well as defensively one-on-one. Yeah.
Jordan says, Saliba and Jesus can take us to the next level. Tom says, the thing I love about Odegaard is his passing, but the thing I hate about Odegaard is one pass too many, not just an attack but defence too. Saliba man of the match. Ganafer says, for real, when SR is absent, here we go. Who's
Smith Rowe? Is that Smith Rowe?
Smith Rowe, here we go. Okay, yeah, fine. Yeah. Nathan says, we would have lost this game last season. Tutoring process, I think Saliba made White look better than he was. I mean, listen, maybe helped him out. I get what you're saying. Ethereal says, Tommy left centre-back. Nah, not for me. Why are we pretending Cedric doesn't exist? Somebody says, Kado.
Sorry. He does. He's here. Yeah. We love Cedric.
I like Cedric. All right, guys. I said we're going to get into the discussion about subs. We'll leave that. We're going to get into some clips now because you guys have been sending them in. And now we get to hear what you guys thought. Arsenal got the job done. Let's hear what you guys thought.
AFTV, this is Dave from Malaysia. It's 5 a.m. over here and it's definitely a night worth staying up for. We have won the opening match of our season and we are top of the league as we speak. Having said that, regarding the performance, I thought it was a mixed performance. The first 15-20 minutes we were attacking and pressing them well. Got our goal, but then Palace grew into the game, and to be fair, majority of the game I felt we were under the cosh, but it was during this period. Two players I would really like to mention. Firstly, William Saliba. I mean, what a player. Colossal at the back, such a fine, cool, composed, calm defender, and at such a young age as well. I mean, he was just phenomenal today. And another player that I would really like to mention about is Ben White. I thought he dealt with Zaha absolutely fantastically today. And I think it was also mentioned by the commentator that he was the player that won the most duels of all the players on the pitch today. So fantastic by both of them. I would also like to mention regarding Odegaard, I thought he had a really poor game. The chance he had, I mean, even though it was on his weaker right foot, I thought he should have just taken it first time, and it could have been a second goal much earlier in the second half. But from the forward line, I would really like to mention about Martinelli as well. I thought he was really electric today. So overall, a decent mixed performance, I would say, but what matters at the end of the day is the result. We are top of the league. We have won the opening match of the season. We move.
I like it. Oh, here we go. Saka and Emil Smith Rowe. Hey guys, hi Arsenal fans. This is Atul and Ayan. We are so excited for the first Arsenal win. This is our prediction sheet for the entire season, and we got the first one right. Okay, this was a great game, and Gabriel Martinelli will be awesome, right, Ayan?
Yeah.
Do you have a message for anyone?
I will win the prediction.
Prediction? Okay. All the best, Gunners.
What's up, Gunner fans? This is Jimmy, coming live from you from Baltimore, Maryland. Shout outs. Was at the game in Baltimore. What a way to start the season. 3 points, 2-0 to the Arsenal, clean sheet. Our defense looks good. William Saliba is solidifying everything. Great game by Ben White to silence Zaha. The offense looked good. Odegaard with a goal. The sub came in. Arteta changed things around and forced the own goal. Arsenal's looking good. I was really impressed with the pressing, the fitness of the team. We played well. Way to start the season. Away win, 3 points, clean sheet. Let's go, you Gunners. Shout out to AFTV, came to the American tour, got to FaceTime with some of you guys. What's up, y'all? I'm Mateus' friend. Let's go, you Arsenal. We're starting out with 3 points. We're on top of the league. Let's go. Arsenal, top 4 this year. Y'all Gunners.
Come on, you Arsenal. Great game, great performance. William Saliba, man of the match for me. This season, top 3 and Europa. That is the minimum for me. We are not smiling this season. I love the energy. I love the fight. This is what we wanted last season. But now, Arteta, keep it up. We move. Come on, you Gunners.
I love this show when we win. Yeah. I love this show when we win. Because you just get to indulge in it.
How the fans are happy and that.
And fans sending all their thoughts.
See that little cute kid with his whole predictions.
Man, they predicted the whole season.
That's what we're here for.
They said they got the first one right. So if you could just let us know how the rest of the season looks, that would be great. And then we'll do a little points tally. We can come up with a good idea. But no, I love seeing fans around the world sending in their videos. Fans of all ages. It's just, I love it. I love it when we win. Nice, and just the joy spread around the world. People all over the planet have enjoyed tonight. And that's what I love about it. Shords,
long time, bro. How you been, man?
Welcome back to full time. The season's up and running. I can't believe we're back in Premier League football again already.
It feels mad already. It feels like it's come very, very, very fast. So
yeah, it really does.
I don't know, bro. It's one of those ones. I think watching the whole of the pre-season, seeing how well we done. Today was one of the, I mean, it's not an easy game. Palace at home is not going to be an easy game. But I think we dealt with it to a certain extent. I think the performance could have been a bit better. And that's for all across the board. But the players that did do well are Saliba, Zinni on that left side, bro. He's changed a lot on that left side.
Does he not look such a class act?
Bro, why are these players? I know why, because they come from City. But they're so icy and so composed.
I know.
Gabriel Jesus is the king of composure. Yeah, I was saying to Robbie in the fan cam, bro, you know. See, I didn't even have to say it. I was saying to Robbie, bro, don't let me speak Portuguese in my fan cam because, bro, our whole team's playing like Brazil. I was saying the top, even our front three, like seeing Martinelli, Jesus, and Saka, they can't get the ball off them, bro. Like that up front is nice, and I feel like Saliba and Zinni at the back now. Even I'm glad that someone mentioned it as well because it's true about Ben White and Zaha. Had him.
We had a whole discussion just before you came on. Debating. Really, to be fair, the comment section were all with us.
Yeah.
But I've just seen some takes just on Twitter or some super chats or comments.
Yeah.
Sort of saying, nah, Zaha had him. You know, Saliba basically helped him out. And anyway, we won't go back into it.
But it's our defense. Yeah. Our defense had him on smash, innit? Everybody put in, and we had him in a way. He didn't do nothing today. So sorry, Crystal Palace fans.
Yeah.
He didn't do nothing. Today.
No, I think Zaha was given a real fight, real test today. Yeah. One of the big.
He got a Palace fan in the back. He's done.
One of the big debates that came from the watch along. Now you weren't actually in the room.
Yeah.
You weren't in the room when this happened, so I'm really excited to talk to you about it. Subs.
Yes.
Arteta masterclass or Arteta lucky?
Arteta lucky, I would say, this game. I feel like I get the frustration, if that is the case, with the fans saying that subs should be on a bit earlier, which I think that is what they're saying. And it's true. I think, obviously we're not going to say it because he's our captain, Odegaard, but he didn't have the greatest game today, and I feel like he could have got subbed off a bit earlier. And again, I feel like, we can't really judge it as such right now because it's the first game of the season. It's fresh back in. Everyone's going to be a bit shaky. Even Ramsdale was a bit shaky, so you can't really just say that. But I mean, I would love to start seeing, because we have got the depth in our team now. I'm starting to see it. I'm starting to see that, there's healthy competition within our squad, and I would like to keep everyone on their toes. Arteta is a manager that seems to like the competition and put the best person that he feels suits the job forward, and I would like to just see other people getting their chance a bit earlier, especially in this sort of beginning of the season as well, just to let them, because we see what happens with Pepe, man. He doesn't play and then when he does come on, we're all kind of scrutinising him a little bit, but he ain't got his chance. Same with Eddie last season. He went on an interview, said that he ain't had 3 games in a row, started playing them, he's banging in against Chelsea. So it's kind of like, give them their chance. If they're not then doing it, okay, cool, rotate. But for
I
this
get what you're
instance
saying.
today,
Yeah.
I think he should have made some subs a bit earlier.
Right.
What was your take on it though? Did you think masterclass?
My honest take,
Yeah.
I really don't care.
We got the 3 points,
Honestly,
bro.
I
We're
don't
on top of the
I
league
saw this
right
debate
now.
going on the watch along, and I was thinking,
Who cares?
I was thinking he brought
We're
them
winning.
on, we scored, we won.
Happy
That's
days.
not to say you shouldn't learn from wins as well, right? You should.
You can still take
You should.
some information from it.
But my point is, when we were talking about subs, I was a little bit thinking, yeah, but who? Like, Jesus doesn't really look tired. He's working hard.
Yeah.
I thought maybe Zinchenko's the one that made sense a little earlier because he was being worked hard by Jordan
very
Ayew.
hard. Yeah.
But what
And
are we
KT, bring
talking?
KT.
Okay, what, 5 minutes earlier? Like, would you have brought them on 10 minutes earlier with the whole 25, 26 minutes of the game? The team
To
was
interrupt
settled.
it. Yeah, I know what
The
you
team
mean.
was
Yeah.
settled,
To
right?
not interrupt that
So you've
flow.
got to find that right balance between
Right time to do
we're
it.
settled, now we're tiring, and where's that
Where's that
line?
pin
and
moment?
I think, okay, if I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel, maybe slightly late, but he brought them on. They made an instant impact. We scored.
Yeah.
I just don't think it merits more discussion than it did, but people
Yeah.
were having the discussion, so we're having it ourselves. I think, you know, so what? The most important thing
We
is
got
that
the 3
Arteta's
points, innit?
got the first team and the prep and the mentality.
That's
right.
it.
That
is
I
it.
like.
And regardless of the subs, I was saying it before, we needed some more subs to get some more depth in our team. But I think, bro, just seeing that starting lineup now, I haven't had that confidence, if I'm honest, in my team
Yeah.
for a very long time.
Well, that
bro.
is one of my biggest highlights coming out of today. And one of my biggest takeaways is
Yeah.
Arsenal fans. Let me re-say this from the start. Arsenal had a good pre-season.
Very good,
Arsenal fans felt very confident. Arsenal went and played well. Arsenal won the game. Arsenal walk away with 3 points. When was the last time that we've had
No.
the confidence matched with
The maybe not the performance,
in
but
terms of commitment and
seeing out the game.
No one's coming out of that going, we were lucky to win. No, we deserve.
we deserve to win,
We
definitely.
rode our luck maybe on a couple of occasions, but generally we deserve to win. And
Yeah.
now after we're reflecting on it, you know, what I'm basically trying to say is I've seen Arsenal fans, well, not confident, not sure what we're going to get, and then they win. Oh, surprise! I've
Okay,
also
yeah,
seen
yeah,
Arsenal confident,
And
and
be
then
like,
we lose.
yeah.
What I liked about today was Arsenal expected to do the job, and they went and did the job.
And what I like is that we knew, and again, it's Palace away, and it's kind of like we knew that wasn't going to be an easy game anyway.
Exactly.
So to see them play how they played, okay, Martinelli should have scored that first goal. Things happen. He made up for it. And then second half, we've seen it through. It wasn't the greatest performance from everyone, but collectively, everyone held it down and got the 3 points, bro. And that's what we need to see at the beginning of the season.
Yep.
So well done to the lads, man. Let's just
Yep.
carry it on, bring this forward. Saliba, though, man. Oh, bro, that's a new signing, bro. Like, that's a top defender that we got on our
He
hands
looks
there.
class. You know
we need
what?
to sign him up and get him in there for good 3 years.
Let's get into that Saliba chat now before
Oh,
we've got
gosh.
more clips coming. Clement says, I just said Clement in a French accent.
Clement.
I don't know why that
Clement.
came to me. It might be Clement. But anyway, he says, good win over Palace. Happy to be wrong, so I'll take the L because I predicted a draw in this game. We move on to Leicester. Why does this refresh what I'm trying to read? We move on to Leicester in the home opener next Saturday, and I love that. It's very and you know, I'm sure there are people who maybe weren't as optimistic who are delighted that they're feeling that they're feeling like, oh, I was wrong, but that's great. And
Yeah.
that's
And that's
great.
what sometimes we want to feel that. So obviously we're all going to have an opinion at the beginning of the game and think, again, like it's Palace, this could go wrong, it could be a draw. But at the end of the day, it wasn't. And yeah, the goals, you know, they came out of nowhere, to be fair. And it was just, even Saka's goal at the end was a bit of
I
luck.
don't think the first one came out.
No,
I
the
think
second one, second one, I should say. Yeah.
second
First one was good.
But you know what it was, and I was talking to Cass about it. It was on the watch along, and he was saying, we always do this as fans. Like, we want to fixate. Well, this is me saying. Well, at this point, we always fixate on the things the opposition team didn't do but could have done. But he's right. You know, there was a chance for Jesus to get a shot away. There was a chance for Odegaard in particular. There was another one. I can't remember what it was. Like, we actually had our openings as well that we didn't make the most of. And for the first game in a season, you know, there's going to be that element of rustiness, despite how sharp we
even
looked
though
in
we
the
was
first
in the
game.
pre-season and it was all great, the first actual game of the league, it's gonna be like, it's gonna be a bit shaky. So for that, cool, but at least we got the job done. We've seen Arsenal go into games shaky like this and then get to second half and it all just crumbles. Today that didn't happen.
I agree.
That Palace was nothing like last season, so we had them in a certain way today, and respect for that.
William Saliba, how good was he?
Bro, I've been waiting for him so long, bro. Even just watching him out.
We have actually waited so long
and
to see this signing.
To see him just like make his transition going out there on loan, and to see where he's come from and what he achieved out there, and to come back and still want to wear the badge and still go out and put a performance like that, man of the match, bro. He's a top defender.
There's a good quote from him.
Top defender.
I want to see if I can find it. There was a quote that went around, but now I can't find it from anyone, which is making me think, was it a real quote?
Okay. Is that it there? No.
It is a quote. It's not the one I'm looking for, but apparently he did say that being out on loan, coming back ready helped. But again,
either way, we could see it that it has matured him a lot, man. And just like the tackle against Zaha today, and that he's just like he's there, innit? And it's just it's similar to when like Gabriel and White came. It was just like, okay, we got a pair of defenders now that can actually do their thing. So big credit to White going on the right and Saliba just cleaning up today, all day cleaning up.
Apparently he's been compared to a young Rio Ferdinand by Gary Neville. And listen,
Gary, that coming from Gary.
The plaudits are pouring in.
It's good to have someone like that on our side, though, defensively, because I've always looked at Arsenal and said sort of like us going forward, creating chances, all good. But when we're coming up against opposition that, are stronger than us, a bit more, can give it to us or take people out the game like Odegaard or whatnot, it's good to see that we have a solid defence. I still feel like we may need someone to sort of come in and replace Xhaka, I feel, because I'm not going to put a lot of
I thought he played well today, but you could still see where there was... He did play well, because I know that there are...
He didn't play horrible.
There are fans who will say, why are you going on Xhaka? Xhaka played well.
Exactly. And that's
again,
what I didn't want to say.
I'm so glad he didn't jinx at half time. I said to everyone, listen, he doesn't actually get second yellow cards. His reds are never second yellows. So he managed himself on that yellow expertly.
For the whole rest of the half.
But you
got to
can
give him
see, you can see he lacks that inventiveness, even though Odegaard
I think he slows down our game a little bit. I think everybody else around him has that creative, that little bit of flair. Jesus is there, Martinelli's there, Odegaard, Saka. These are players that got a little flair. When they're on the ball, they're confident, they're composed on the ball. And I feel like when he gets the ball, it's a bit like, what do I do? What do I do? How do I do this?
I don't know. See, I didn't come away with that. I thought he played really, really well. But you can see where he's not a natural player in the final third.
Because it's kind of changing his position as well.
Yeah, it is.
Taking a more cam kind of role. So I guess it's a bit different for him. So maybe I hear what you're saying. He done good changing up, being in that position where he's changed. So, but I think we could do a bit more. I think we
might be
need
in
to
the
do a
market
bit
for
more.
another 8. We'll see.
Yeah, man. Tielemans, get him over
quality,
man.
depth, all that. This is what annoys me, right? Edwin just said in the comments, stop bashing Xhaka. He had a decent game. Who's bashing him?
No, I didn't bash him. I didn't bash him.
Bashing?
I just think that we could do better. But I'm not going to bash him because he had a good game.
Anyway,
he held, like you said, the yellow card. He done his thing.
No one bashed him, and you guys some people need to be able to hear a little bit of critique in a performance and not take that as
we're bashing.
He's had a bad game.
Yeah, he's shit.
He was very good today, and I've said that.
He done his thing
today. He got a yellow card, diving. Or by the way, the ref Eze, I think, was meriting of a couple yellows, or at least one for a dive, but that's not the point.
It is what it is.
I'm just saying, you can just see where it doesn't come naturally to him.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't. Yeah, man, it's the truth. It's the truth, bro. It's the truth. It doesn't come natural for him.
Anyway, but he did well, and lots of people did well. People saying, calm down, Jay. Well, you don't need to calm down. But listen, you guys have been great, as are people sending in their videos, so let's hear what more people are saying.
Come on.
What's going on, AFTV? Dini here. 2-0 to the Arsenal away at Palace. More than happy. There's hella rival fans that are upset right now. Hella. And that's happy for me. That makes me happy. That makes me happy because, they wanted to see us lose on a Friday night and everything just be normal, Arsenal, banter, all of that business. But it's not happening today, unfortunately, for them. It's not happening today. Big mentions to Saliba, got man of the match. First Premier League game for Arsenal since signing. Man of the match, he looked comfortable, cleaned up. Zinchenko looked comfortable as well. Jesus looked comfortable as well. I feel like this is definitely going to put us in good stead for the rest of the season.
Hello, AFTV, Arsenal fan from Canada here. Just tuned into the 2-0 win against Crystal Palace. I think that looked pretty solid. Saka lost half the game, but at the end he made something happen. Gabriel Jesus looked good. Martinelli scored. Saliba looks better than Van Dijk. Ben White pocketed Zaha. That's all I could have wished for after the 3-0 that we lost last year. Shows Arteta learns. and the team looks good. I'm confident in top 4. Might even win the league.
Hiya, it's Tom, massive Arsenal fan. That's how we started the season off, in my eyes. Genuinely, I thought Martinelli was unbelievable today. Jesus, I reckon he's going to bang 25-30 in now. Look, if we could beat Palace, ultimately we could beat anybody. We shouldn't be aiming for Champions League. We should be aiming for the league. I don't see why not. Lacazette's gone, Aubameyang's gone, the Deadwood's gone. I've always said it, Arteta in. So, up the Gunners, and yeah, we'll wait and see. Bring on Man City, bring on Liverpool. One game at a time, but yeah, that was a really good result.
Hello Gunners, greetings from Krakow, from Poland. Absolutely buzzing. It was scrappy at times, but the most important part is we have won the first game, very difficult game away at Crystal Palace, and 3 points that counts. And this is a really good opportunity for us to go on and show to the Premier League, to the other clubs, that we mean the business this season. Xhaka's stupid yellow card, but he was decent, absolutely decent. Man of the match is one and only Saliba, absolutely tower at the back, immense player and fantastic performance by the whole team. Come on, you Gunners.
Well, some fans feeling very, very good about the season. I don't know if I feel quite that good in terms of title challenges and all that, but listen, I feel positive. I felt positive going into it, and I definitely feel positive on the back of that. Laurie, welcome to Full Time. You'll be here to round it off with us. We've had videos, comments, everything coming in. Seeing your comments as well. We'll go through them very soon. Let's bring an air of I don't want to bring anyone down from the high, because everyone's delighted with the start, but let's bring a degree of measure to it, because as good as the performance was, and we've touched on pretty much everything there was to like about it, Arsenal always, again, had to show that grit. Now, do you think showing that grit and getting through is a good sign, or do you think, I don't want Arsenal to be looking that on the back foot for so long?
That's a good question, actually. My thoughts when watching the game... Actually, let's run it back. I said before the game that although I thought Arsenal would win, it would be a very tough game, because I know what Palace are capable of. I knew it was the first game of the season. They're at home. They've got a good record against us in the Premier League. I knew it was going to be tough. So when we were going through those moments where it was backs against a wall, that did not surprise me. If I'm going to be hypercritical, then I said it on the stream as well, to be fair, that I did feel that the manager left it a bit long for the substitutions. I felt we needed an injection of energy. But you know what? I guess he was vindicated, because not too long after the subs come on, we scored the second goal. But I would have liked to have seen him made a few changes earlier. Listen, Palace are a very decent team, especially at home. There's not too many teams that are going to go at Palace this season and beat them 2-0.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For that, you've got to say that was a very encouraging performance. I'm not getting too carried away, although you saw with that performance there, man, there were some outstanding performances. So it's all good right now.
Yeah, I think if you're breaking down the individual performances, I can't think of one bad one. And if we were rating them out of 10, there will be a player ratings video coming out on AFTV. I can't think of anyone who gets less than a 7, let's say. Maybe I think Odegaard did.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think Odegaard had his best game. And in fact, I'm going to say that I would probably have hooked him, but I can understand why the manager wouldn't. If it wasn't that he was playing that bad, he just looked like we needed a refresh in that position.
Looked like the game had got beyond him in terms of what he'd become, which was a bit back and forth, a little bit physical, a little bit whatever. And actually in the first half, when we had more of the ball, there was some nice interplay, even if it's just his movement that makes space. So
I'm speculating that the manager didn't want to bring him off because earlier.
Sure.
Because it might have looked a bit embarrassing. You just made the man captain for the season. We're going through it a little bit.
Maybe.
Well, think about it. We're going through it a little bit, and then you hook your captain. It doesn't look great.
I hadn't thought of it that way.
So I think Arteta was
interesting.
But it wasn't that he was playing so bad that he was a liability. It's just that he wasn't up to his usual standards. I'm sure next week he'll be fine. But, you know.
Next week, you think is a game that suits you a bit more, kind of a daytime game at home. Leicester, obviously, we're going to find out tomorrow what kind of shape they're in. But yeah, I think.
I mean, Leicester, man, they could be dangerous. I mean,
I released a predictions video today on my personal stuff I do, and I actually had Leicester to finish in the top 7 because I think they'll surprise teams. Everyone's kind of writing them off, but I think they'll get players in and surprise.
Jamie Vardy needs them goal bonuses.
Oh no. Anyway, moving on.
So
he'll be back. He'll be back.
He'll be scoring goals as he needs to, man.
So next season. Sorry, this coming season after last year where he was injured. Yeah, I think next week he'll be raring to go as well after a game. I imagine 90 minutes tomorrow.
He needs it back.
Sorry, just very quickly, I wanted to add.
I've kind of sidetracked you.
No, that was I was thinking, where's it going with this? With Arsenal's performance, if I'm being really, really honest, I don't think I could have expected much more than that tonight. And what I mean is, a period where we dominate, start well, and show what we can do when we're firing. Individual performances to be proud of, commitment that I really, really like, and weathering a storm that Palace are always going to bring. Yeah. I can't really think of any team that isn't going to come under that kind of a cosh at Selhurst Park by Crystal Palace, but maybe Liverpool and City if they say get the job done in the first half or first hour or whatever. But even City came here on great form last season and were held to a draw.
Yeah, listen, it's not an easy place to come to.
It's always difficult.
And you're beating them 2-0 at home, and you know what I mean, you've not conceded a goal. Okay, Eze had a great chance, but he didn't take it. Other than that, I think Robbie made the point. For all their possession that they had in that second half, they didn't really create any.
I can think of one chance.
Yeah, maybe two.
One.
The header, I think.
The header. That I think. At the time, I thought great save, so I was really nervous. But actually, maybe in hindsight, should always save it. But listen, he did well to get there.
I think the good thing he did with that save is that he pushed the ball away from goal. A lot of times you see keepers, they will, save it. But
it's a good point. Yeah, he dealt with
the fact that he pushed
the
it
save.
Away.
Yeah, very
I thought
true.
Ramsdale had a good game actually. I mean, he had that sticky moment. Didn't
he was claiming crosses, and I think when we first signed him, that was something that Leno wasn't particularly good at. So we noticed it with the away performance at Turf Moor, blah blah. But actually, today he was commanding the area. The few times he dropped it, but kind of held it and looked after it. But he was generally commanding the area, and actually from set pieces we were rarely threatened because players were getting back and defending. I thought Xhaka did that brilliantly, getting back and covering spaces. There was a moment where Zinchenko was pressing, but he followed the player into midfield, so Xhaka went out to left back, and then when they came at us, Zinchenko was midfield, Xhaka was left back, and I thought that's what total football is. It's being able to move with the flow of the game and react to what's happening and still being comfortable with where you are. So, yeah, look.
No, I was very impressed with the performance. And, of course, man of the match, William van Dijk.
Oh, no. Why do I feel this will come against us one day? But he was awesome.
No, but yeah, he was.
He was awesome. He was awesome.
Especially when you consider it was his first game in the Premier League and you're up against people like Zaha and people like that.
Mateta, Edouard, who make it really difficult. Yeah.
And we said it earlier, didn't we? Palace are at some point going to put it on you, and he just looked next level, really.
I got to say, he looked absolutely outstanding. So, right, we got more clips. We're going to react to them in a sec. Let's hear what you're saying.
Hey AFTV, it's Michael in Boston. Great opening match. My man of the match has actually Ben White. I think he did a great job on that right side. Everything was solid in the back, and that is the difference. They of those marches, gracious sovereign, shall be a wall sufficient to defend our inland from the pilfering borderers. Come on, you gunners.
Well, I'm happy. That was good. That was good. 3 points, Selhurst Park. You take it. You definitely take it. There's work to be done. Saliba looked incredible. Really, really good. And, first thing I did after the game, go and look at Arsenal at the top of the table. Number 1.
TV, how you doing? Stephen and Alexander from Pennsylvania. Robbie, we're still not forgiving you for not coming to Baltimore. We were there.
Man. We were waiting for you.
We were ready to meet you, but this is exactly what we needed. We saw it during the preseason. The boys look ready. They look sharp. It was the first time taking my son to watch the Arsenal play. It was really nice to see them in person, and it's really nice to see them starting off in winning ways. Great defense, great one-touch passing. The defense especially was hunting in packs. Someone will slow someone down and the other just takes over. I'm so happy for the start of the season. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, that was a great win. Robbie, we were waiting for you in Baltimore, but I understand you must have been a proud father that day. Congrats on your daughter graduating. But what an absolutely fantastic win. Sky Sports was just waiting for Crystal Palace to win so that they could talk so bad about Arsenal, but no, Arsenal has won today, and this could be huge because we don't start off seasons ready, we don't start them off great, but today we won and we took it to Palace, and I'm happy with the performance and great result in the end. So come on, you Gunners!
Come on, you Gunners!
They melt my heart. Steven and Alexander, man. We're so sorry we couldn't be there in Baltimore. Yeah, but as you mentioned, obviously, there was a lot going on. A very, very proud day for Robbie as well. But we'd have loved to have been there. Robbie's daughter in the background celebrating. She's the reason, so that's why we couldn't be there. But they're right. Arsenal don't normally go into a season looking prepared and then starting a season so well. Yeah. How refreshing is this? Like, I remember a couple of years ago, behind closed doors, we went and smacked up Fulham 3-0, but Arsenal didn't really necessarily look prepared for that season. I think we just had a luck of the draw with who we played. The season before, we beat Newcastle 1-0 away from home. But again, we were kind of okay. And actually, because these performances weren't so great, what eventually followed was a pretty poor run, in which Arsenal ultimately finished 8th in both those seasons. This time it feels like Arsenal not only looked good, in patches of the game, but it just followed the pre-season prep. It was somewhat what I was expecting and hoping from the team, despite Palace's obvious moments in the game.
You know what? Pre-season, I'm somewhat surprised. You chat to a lot of fans. I'm not saying Arsenal fans, just fans across the board.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are quite dismissive of pre-season. And
I
can never understand that because there's an old adage: fail to prepare, prepare to fail.
Exactly.
Those pre-season games are very important. It's not always about winning them, but at the end of the day, you're looking for your players to perform. You're looking for the new signings to assimilate. You're working on systems. So pre-season to me, you're working on fitness. Very important. Arsenal had 7 pre-season games, won 6, lost 1, scored 20-odd goals, conceded 6, I think it was. A couple of standout wins in that. The Chelsea 4-0 was an amazing result. The 6-0 against Sevilla, even though Sevilla, let's be honest, weren't that good. But even so, we made them look that bad. So going into today's game, I was actually quite optimistic because I'd seen the pre-season.
Yep, me too.
And I could see the improvement. And all the new signings looked good. So I went into today's game with a degree of optimism, and it was borne out today on the pitch. Yes, in the second half especially, we were up against it for a while, but we came through it, like Robbie said. Mm-hmm. Got the win, didn't concede a goal, kept a clean sheet, and it's all good going into next game with the optimism levels and the confidence really high, which is what you want.
That's exactly it. And our 3 of our next 4 games are at home.
Yeah.
And that is going to allow Arsenal to potentially build some momentum. We are live on Twitch as well, guys. Don't worry, we're not neglecting you. We've got lots of comments still to go through. Normally this would be an hour stream, but I think everyone is absolutely indulging and enjoying Arsenal bucking the trend and not just winning on the opening day, as I mentioned. They've done that a few times over the last few years, but it's doing it with a degree of conviction, not only with pre-season performances, but with getting signings in early and getting a tough game out the way with 3 points. Ashton says, we did the best for our first game. I think he's saying, considering it was our first game, we did as good as we probably could have hoped. Mitch says, big win, great start to the season. Ashton asks, where do you think we'll finish? I had us down for top 4.
You know what? It's kind of difficult to say off the back of one game, obviously. It's a long season.
And by the way, all season is going to be, can we get top 4? Can we get top 4? It's going to be for 38 games, for another 37 times you're going to hear that question.
Listen, it's a marathon, not a sprint. There's going to be ebb and flow. There's going to be peaks and troughs. But what I would say is, given the signings, given the level of optimism, given the pre-season, it would not surprise me if we made the top 4. In fact, I'm predicting us for a top 4 place. I mean, listen.
Love that.
Last season we weren't particularly good and we nearly got it. This season we have got the added distraction, if you call it that, of the Europa League. But then we got a better squad. And they're looking to bring in new signings, aren't they? That's what we're being told. So even
I think there'll be one more.
Even if we don't get any in this transfer window, I reckon we'll definitely get some in a winter transfer window. So
yeah,
we will strengthen.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, listen, why not? Go
Yeah.
for it. I think the top 4 is realistic. I'm not saying we're going to get it, as in it's guaranteed, because obviously it's not. But you know, I think that's a reasonable target to aim for.
As I said, can expect that to be asked all season with
Of
every
course.
90 that's played. That will come up. Oizo asks, or he says,
but we should be aiming for that.
Well, I'm kind of one of these that absolutely we should, but I think, say at the start of the season, that's the task. I think Arsenal can do it. Let's see where we are in 10 games. I think sometimes, listen, I love this. I love what we do, but it's the nature of almost. Not micromanaging, that's not the word, but you know, you are focusing on every single thing. So after one game, it's can we get top 4? You know, it's we
But
can.
listen,
We can,
any
and
job
I'm not
you
really
do-
going to change my mind massively over. Well, actually, okay, if the 10 games go bad, I'm going to change my mind. But my point is, yes, and let's see where we are come start of November, I guess. Yeah.
But like I said, there's going to be ebb and flow, peaks and troughs, ups
absolutely.
and downs.
Yeah, there'll be
so
loads.
even if you go through a little poor run, as long as you can recover it, there's
Yep.
other teams are going to go through similar. So
Yeah, very
it's
true.
going to be tight, man.
Oizo says, we played bad but got the win. But people saying we are ready for top 4 after a pretty bad game, ... So he's not convinced. He mentions 2 shots on target, 44% of possession. Crystal Palace had 100p chances and should have scored. I disagree. I think Palace had a lot of the ball and got into a lot of areas. I don't think they had a lot of chances. I think they had 1 or 2 maybe. And I think also, sure, we didn't have as much of the ball, but remember the context of the game, because when it was 0-0 and the game kicked off, Arsenal had all the ball and all the play and did everything. The way things go means Palace are going to have more of the ball. They're chasing equalisers, and Arsenal are going to be trying to hold on to what they've got, especially when it's the first game and it's Selhurst. Right, we've got more clips. Let's hear what the rest of you are saying.
Big up to AFTV, it's Jay here, all the way from my hometown in Malaysia, yeah? And I was in Australia, but now I'm in Malaysia now. So it was a good game. I watched it, the whole 90 minutes. Big up to all of you there, with the watch-alongs and everything. I think the own goal, it was alright. But the first goal, it was good. Zinchenko made an assist to Gabriel Martinelli. It was a bit sad because we wanted to see Jesus score, But he kept a clean sheet, that's the most important thing, and our defense was rock solid. It was slightly clumsy. I think we were lucky at times. There were handballs around, but I'm not sure if I think we were very fortunate, not to be given pens in our box. But overall, I think we should be much more careful. And on we go to the next match, against Leicester. Come on, Tillmans, come to Arsenal. Cheers.
2-0 to the Arsenal. It's wild to think that 4 months ago we went to Crystal Palace and lost 3-0. A lot has changed in the last 3 months, and I'm very excited to see everything that we end up doing. I got a shout out to my boy Saliba. I mean, he is just a Rolls Royce in the back. I feel so confident. It's wild. I love Gabriel in the back, but I even feel more confident with Saliba. And Ben White is just, he put Zaha in his place. So thank you, AFTV. Love what you guys do.
AFTV, I just want to give a shout out as well to Zinchenko and Thomas Partey today. Thomas Partey controlled and bossed that midfield. Technically, he was sound, and his controlled aggression and his technical ability of what held us down in certain situations in today's game, because Palace did have their moments and they could have made it 1-1 in certain periods of the game. But and Zinchenko, I think he's just an excellent addition. With whether it's Zinchenko or Tini, we don't drop off in quality on that left-hand side. So I've got to give credit to Mikel Arteta on that aspect of that signing. But we just got to kick on from here as well, man. Love.
AFTV, Palace new Arsenal 2. What a monstrous performance by the Mbappe of centre-backs, William Saliba, winning the man of the match. When we tend to struggle to control games, the reason is not far-fetched. Martin Odegaard switching off mid-game is the major reason we struggle to control games. Hence, we need a CM who could come in and be a controller, especially in games like this. We'll take the win, definitely. I will continue to take it a game at a time. Let's move on to the next game. Come on, you Gunners.
Love it, man. Lots of and actually lots of praise going William Saliba's way. Absolutely deserved. I thought Gabriel quietly had a terrific game as well. In fact, Jim actually says Gabriel looks immense. He knows exactly what we need. I thought Gabriel, almost because he quietly got through the game, just tells you that he was never troubled and he was also brilliant. And listen, all the applause are going to go to Saliba because he's 21 and the first time we're seeing him in ages and all that. But yeah, Gabriel terrific as well.
And shout out to Ben White because that contributor there, he made a good point. That you know, I wouldn't say pocketed Zaha because Zaha still had his moments, but he did well against Zaha, and you know that Zaha is a quality player.
Yep.
And when Zaha's on his game, he's very, very dangerous. So shout out to Ben White.
Yeah. We did a section.
Wasn't an easy task.
We did a section on Ben White earlier in the show. Was it with Qualms or Shorts? And yeah, it just needed to be mentioned that. Well, basically, we asked everyone what they thought of him. In fact, Implied said Ben White made 8 successful tackles against Palace, the most by an Arsenal player in a single Premier League away game since the 2016-17 season.
Wow.
Well, there you go. So what more do you want?
Yeah, there you have it.
Let me read some of William Saliba's stats that did come through. There will be a Tactical Insight show coming tomorrow. That's right, not Monday, not, you know, when all the games are done. We'll be actually reacting to it tomorrow. I can't wait. Why would you want to wait to discuss this performance? But as tweeted by Julien Laurent, who says his numbers: 0 fouls committed, 67% of duels won, 6 clearances, 7 recoveries, 94% of accurate passes made. I mean, that is some pretty outstanding
complete defender
numbers, you know.
And you know what's impressive about that as well is that no fouls. So
Yeah.
that means his reading of the game
exactly
is such that he doesn't need to go crashing in.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Yeah, I completely and utterly agree. Right, super chats. KD. Always got to say a big love to KD, who met us at the airport and gave us some T-shirts before we flew back to London. And appreciate all the support and constant love on this channel. He says, remember White called Saka to come back and help him, which was smart. He won most of the duels. Yeah, we saw Saka's work rate was terrific. Dom says, this is the most excited I've been about an Arsenal side since our last year at Highbury when we still had Henry. I mean, wow, fair play. I mean, I don't know if it reflects that level of excitement for me, because we've had some really good teams that did get Champions League and win trophies and all that. But I really like the potential in this team.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I hear what he's saying. I wouldn't quite go that far. You know why?
Yeah.
Because just the one game. What this does is it gives us optimism and confidence for the next game.
Yeah.
As I said, the Premier League is not a sprint; it's a marathon.
Mhm.
So come next Saturday, we've got another very tough opponent, and we've got to deal with them. So you know, I mean, it's no point in playing really well today, winning, and then squandering all that next week at home. We've got to keep focused, got to keep, you know what I mean, stay on our game, keep the levels, and we'll be fine. But, you know what I mean, let's not get too carried away.
I hear that. Francis says, Arteta needs to make us play for 60 minutes like we played the first 15, then we'll compete. Yeah, I mean, I get that. I think the first 15 minutes are a bit harsher. I think for the first hour, 35, I think Arsenal were in control. And even when Palace started to get on the ball, they weren't really doing a lot bar the Zaha header. And listen, in comparison to what we did in that first half and our chances and our openings, you know, I don't think you can compare Arsenal, by far the better team in the first half. But I completely understand the sentiment. It's can Arsenal display that level of control across a 90? I think at Palace it's always going to be hard, no matter how good you are. But I get it. Tom asks, what did you guys think of the refereeing? I thought it was excellent. Of course, 1 or 2 decisions weren't seen, but I loved the flow and pace of the game. Good question.
I think, to be honest, I heard a couple of the guys on the stream have a moan up at the referee. That's normal when things don't always go your way. But I didn't have a problem with the ref. And in fact, I think if you look at the stats, we got more fouls than them, didn't we? So,
I think that sounds right.
Yeah, so I didn't have a huge problem with the referee, to be honest.
Yeah. I think my only issue is he got the Xhaka booking spot on. Why he didn't go and book Eze? You know, so what are we saying? That no contact's not a booking, but a tap?
Yeah.
Suddenly you're in the realm of, well, you could have gone down, but it's not a foul. I don't know. So, and I think there are a few moments, but other than that,
I mean, listen, Palace are at home. It's impossible not to expect they're going to get a few go their way.
Sure.
I didn't feel shortchanged by the ref.
No, I don't think I did.
I don't think he was a major factor.
No, which I guess is everything you want.
Exactly.
Jamsey says, Zinchenko, great in attack, worrying in defence. Listen, I actually think he was worked quite hard defensively, and it actually didn't come super naturally to him. But on the ball, I thought he was absolutely outstanding, as mentioned earlier. And bringing on Tierney was brilliant, because the minute you brought Tierney on, that right-hand side was shut down.
Yeah.
They suddenly couldn't do anything down that side.
Yeah. No, I agree. And that's what I'm saying. I was calling for substitutions earlier, and that would have been one that I would have made. But Zinchenko did very well. Listen, man, people have got to understand you're playing football at the top level against a very tough opponent with some big, strong, physical, quick guys. It was always going to be difficult tonight. And you got to take advantage of your substitutions. You have the opportunity to make 5 now. Games are going to be won and lost through managers managing the substitutions.
Have more impact than ever before.
Yeah, exactly.
Laurie, I'm going to say a massive thank you for joining.
It's
Guys,
all right,
we're
bro.
going to go to your clips now that we've got some more comments to go through, and Don Robbie himself is in the building, so let's hear what you guys are saying.
Hey AFTV, it's Max and Kathy from Orlando. We miss you. Last time we saw you, we really took it to Chelsea. And today was a very good day.
Big win for the Gunners. 2-0. You can't ask for much better at Selhurst Park, especially after last time we played there. Saliba was absolute great player. Just, slotted straight into the team, and genuinely think that this guy is going to be one of our best players this season. Jesus, a little bit quiet, but not really his fault. It was a little bit of like a cagey game as expected with Crystal Palace. I'm just happy that this time around we get a 2-0 win instead of a 2-0 loss on the road. And big things, upcoming this season. Come on, top 4 and hopefully Champions League.
Lastly, great to see Tierney on the field for a few minutes. It's good to have him back. Cheers, AFTV.
Big up to AFTV from Vancouver, Canada over here. Let's go. It's going to be a great season, and that was a great win. Great away win, because Crystal Palace is a tough, tricky one for us. Great away win, clean sheet. That boy Saliba is good. Eddie was good, did a lot of running. That made a huge difference in the second half there when he came on. A clean sheet away at Crystal Palace. First game jitters out the way. Let's go. It's going to be a good season. Let's go, Gunners.
What's up, guys? Javi from the US here. Very happy with the away win, but we seriously need to improve in our ability to transition from a defensive to an attacking phase, because we're very compact and central when we defend, but we're equally compact and central when we try to, transition. Because what happens is that we rush the play. We either have a ball carrier who runs into a wide area where there's space, but then they're left isolated, or we give a premature pass to a player who is transitioning into their attacking positions, but by the time they receive the ball, they're still in these central areas. So we need to get more comfortable with sort of stretching our positioning within our own defensive third, with the understanding that by getting the ball out wide, Crystal Palace is going to overload the ball side onto one side of the field, and then by our triangles and our technical ability, we can then switch the play, where now Crystal Palace is forced to track back, and now we can progress up the field, recycle the ball, get into our shape, and we go again and we take control of the game. And that's something that we still struggle with. And I think that comes with maturity, calmness, understanding, tactical understanding more than anything else. But we saw that it still needs a lot of improvement.
Hey, love for everyone that we met out there in Orlando as well.
Yeah, big up Harvey, man. Remember we met him out there?
Yeah, I remember surprising you on the fan
Yeah,
cam.
yeah.
But no, it's honestly been great to see, some familiar faces we met out there. And just fans around the world who are just, stayed up at whatever time or got up at whatever time or, to enjoy a performance. And Arsenal, I said this, I'm not saying that there's not room for improvement in this Arsenal performance. Of course there is, absolutely. But I don't think I could have hoped for realistically much better from our first game.
Realistically, no, because the thing is, before the game, we're all going off a pre-season. We're saying, 3-1, 2-1. But at the end of the day, Crystal Palace is a very, very hostile place to go to. I've been there year after year after year. It's not a place that we go to often and get a result, by the way. Last year, Tottenham went there, lost 3-0. Arsenal went there, lost 3-0. City went there, drew. When you go there, it's a tight, compact ground. The fans are right up for it. And remember, this is the first game of the season. And the first game of the season for any team, the fans are buzzing. They can't wait to see the players. And they're right up for it. So the big difference that I saw in this game, in comparison to how we started the game last season, was the fact that when Brentford stuck it on us last season, we crumbled.
Yeah.
We just fell down like a pack of cards. Right? When Palace stuck it on us in that second half, we didn't crumble. Apart from the chance that Eze had, right? Yeah, they had a lot of possession. But there wasn't loads of saves that Ramsdale was having to pull off because we defended well. And I thought, Saliba was outstanding. I thought Ben White, up against Zaha, outstanding performance. Zinchenko, debut, remember. I think we're forgetting this is his first. Saliba's first game in Premier. His first game in the Premier League.
I know.
His first game in the Premier League. Zinchenko's first game in the Premier League. Gabriel Jesus, his first game for Arsenal. Sorry, Zinchenko, first game for Arsenal. Outstanding performance at a very, very difficult place to go to. And I was very proud of that performance. It was good. And we got off to a winning start, and that's what we wanted, and that's what we got.
Jamsey says, early, but will Odegaard suffer the curse of the armband? Don't see why.
No. Listen, I thought Odegaard worked really, really hard.
Yeah.
I want to see him getting his shots off quicker. There was a couple of times when he could have got shots off. That there was that time when he was through and he tried to cut it back to Jesus, and I'm like, shoot, man, shoot. But he didn't have a bad game. No. Because again, it's the ugly stuff that he did well in the game.
Yeah.
It can't be the curse. If that's what the curse of the armband's going to be, that we go away to Palace and get 3 points, then it's all good. And this is what, if you're going to get into the top 4, these are the type of results you have to pull off.
Yeah.
You've got to go to places like that, right? And we've seen last season, I think I was doing some interviews earlier, and somebody made the point that look at some of the results last year that Liverpool had, where they were under the cosh, but they still got over the line. Same with Chelsea. I think they used the example of when Chelsea went to Brentford, where they were under the cosh.
Yeah.
But they won the game. And those results get you into the top 4.
That's exactly
so, well done to Arsenal. Started it off brilliantly.
Yeah, they have. Vijay, although he does disagree with you, he says, we're still a stack of dominoes just with better pieces. I'm not convinced until we start stomping on opponents. Total domination will never get there.
Listen, this Crystal Palace are a very good side.
I'm with you.
You don't just... Somebody please tell me which teams have gone there, like even the big teams, and just torn them apart. It's a difficult place to go to, especially when it's the first game of the season. And no, I think there was a lot of difference today. We stood up. And yeah, you're right. There are different pieces. And that's why we did stand up, because we've got better players out there.
Yeah.
And so I asked you earlier, I said, what was the starting 11 last season?
Yeah.
And you read it out at the time. And, when you read out the personnel that played in that first game last season, Chambers,
Mary,
Holding, Mary,
Lokonga, Smith Rowe, Pepe, Balogun.
Yeah, Balogun, Yeah, you're right. It's better players out there today, but that's what better players bring you. Experienced players like Zinchenko bring you a calmness to your defence. A quality player like Saliba brings you great defending. He doesn't dive in. He brings you great defending. You know, I thought Ben White today, again, up against one of the best wide players in the Premier League, was absolutely brilliant.
We touched on it in the starting 11. You know, this is why I do like sometimes when things are on camera, on record, that we made a whole point of Wilfried Zaha and his battle with Ben White and how it was going to be crucial. And, you know, when Zaha ranked in the top 5% for this, top 10% for that, top 1% for fouls won. And people want to say, oh, but Zaha got past White once or twice. Well, of course he did.
Yeah,
but White was excellent.
But what did Zaha do in the game? What was if you used to speak?
He was busy, but he didn't achieve anything.
He was busy, but you're playing against a player like Zaha. He's going to be busy.
Yeah.
He's going to be busy. Your job is to stop him from having any end product in the game. And from what I saw, he had 0 end product in the game. Yeah. And that was because of the brilliance of Ben White's defending.
Yeah, and Saliba covering.
And Saliba covering. And, you know, and as a team, we played well. There was times when Saka got back and helped out. And, I mean, that's what you've got to do. This is all part of standing up and not crumbling. You know what I mean? Everybody's got to, because, you know, everyone's got to get back and help out. And I thought we did that outstanding. We were brilliant today with that.
I forget Palace actually beat Man City at the Etihad last season.
Beat Man City at the Etihad. Yeah. Remember last season, I'm telling you, the 2 games that they played against us, we were lucky to get a draw against them at home.
Yep.
They outplayed us. And everybody remembers what they did. You know, they cost us the top 4, I think.
Yep.
Destroyed us. Remember, 3-0 could have been more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you remember rightly, that game, we started that game well. And then when they put it on us, we just fell apart. We just crumbled. Thomas Partey got injured and that was it. It was over.
Giuseppe says, super team performance, loving the old and new players mix. Lul says, we see different kind of formation, or he's saying we saw a different kind of formation on and off the ball. As I mentioned, you're not going to have to wait till Monday. Tomorrow you're going to get a tactical insight. Graham and I, we're not just going to sit around and wait all weekend to talk about it. We're going to have to come in on a weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested for you to explain to me. I see what people are saying there, because Zinchenko wasn't really playing as a sort of traditional left back, was he? He was picking up some really different positions. So I'm going to be really interested to see how you guys break that down.
What happens to our bet when he's starting left back every game, but he's playing in midfield the whole time?
Well, no, he's still played as a left back. You're trying to sneak in like that, are you?
Actually, to see what the clauses
You're trying to sneak it in like that. He started as a left back.
He did.
He may have occupied, and as I said, you know what? I said it earlier, right, in my fan cam. 30 million. When I see Cucurella going for 62 million, based off of 1 season at Brighton, I know listen, he's a good player, Cucurella. But 62 million, he's not even an international for his country. And he went for 62 million. Boy, did we get a bargain, £30 million for Zinchenko.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Captain of Ukraine, multiple winner. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
What a deal we got here. Yeah. Well done, Edu, man. I mean, you pulled off a great deal. And that's down to Arteta, isn't it? It's because of Arteta he's come.
Well, I think so. I think that is a big part of it. It's selling them what they're doing. It's maybe they believed in the improvements from last season and all that. Giuseppe also says, Jesus and Eddie up front with a love heart. Hope we get another striker. But I think we've...
Eddie did very well when he came on.
I really think he did, yeah.
I remember he came on, brought the energy, and we got that second goal. All of a sudden we were back on the front foot again. I do agree with him, though. I want to see another goal-scoring either striker or forward in the team. Yeah. You know, because...
That killer, that maybe would have made today's 2-0 a 3-0.
Should be Pepe, but...
I
hear that. When we was talking about, I think it was Belgium was suggesting bringing on Pepe, that's not the type of game for him. That's the problem.
I agree. Mike says, good performance, was just missing better control in midfield, especially in transition. Palace did well to make it difficult for us in the second half. Yeah, and I think what is going to get forgotten, obviously because we've been talking about what a great pre-season we've had, people are almost forgetting it's also our first competitive game of the season. It's all well and good saying Palaces and all that, but Arsenal, despite a great pre-season, and this is why I warned after the Chelsea-Sevilla games, Sevilla didn't give us really a fight. They didn't give us a workout at all. No. Palace gave us a workout. To come through the clean sheet and a couple of goals, I'm more than delighted. You build to it.
Yeah, I did the evening show with Jay Bothroyd. ex-Arsenal player, ex-footballer, has played for loads of teams. And he said to me, he goes, Robbie, he goes, pre-season games, he goes, let me tell you something, right? He goes, they're very unpredictable. He goes, they're very difficult games. And he goes, no matter how fit you think you are, he goes, you really start to suffer. Your fitness. And he goes, Arsenal just need to win. He goes, honestly, he goes, it's not a game, it's not often, he said, in pre-season games you go and blow away teams. You know? And he proved to be right.
Look how many times Man City have won the title having had a bad start to the season.
Well, they lost their first game of last season.
They did.
To Spurs, remember?
And they lost the Community Shield to Leicester the week before.
Yeah.
And actually, even when they won it in the behind closed doors season game, Liverpool were top of the league, then it was Spurs, then Man United had a run, and then City built the momentum to then fly away. So, listen, you're not always, in fact, you're not expected to make flying starts for a season. I think we have that hope because of how good the pre-season has been, but just to get a clean sheet, couple of goals, and show what we can do over 30, 35, 40 minutes was impressive.
Let's not underestimate it. We've just gone away to one of those grounds that we got smashed last year. First game of the season. First game of the season for a reason. First game of the season. TV coverage first game of the season says that this could be an upset. There's a TV Arsenal away at Crystal Palace sense that this could be an upset. Brentford last year, Arsenal away at Crystal Palace. This is primed for another upset. Brentford last year, difficult. This is primed for another upset. Yes, we'll do it for the great difficult game. Come away with that 3 points.
Apparently we're having audio problems. So just have a little look. Let's have a little look at that. People with a little bit of emojis. So we'll just have a little look at that. Should we come back in a second? Yeah. Fixing it.
Ain't it great that we can just chill out for the weekend now?
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah?
It's the best. Right. We should be back now.
We're
How's
back.
that sounding?
Ain't it great that we can just chill out for the weekend, isn't it?
I can just relax, watch the football. Well, I've got to film a tactical insight, but that's a pleasure.
Chill out, feet up.
But it's brilliant. No, I agree. All right, Robbie, we're gonna pretty much round it off there. Everyone's sending their comments. We've had your videos from all around the world. It's been amazing. Let's just listen. We're gonna have all of next week to preview Leicester, but let's just sort of talk about, just as our final bit, what starting the season like that can mean for the fact that our next 3 out of our next 4 games are at home. And they are not easy. No game is easy, but they are ones you'd expect Arsenal to come through.
We can get off to a great start.
We can.
Last season, we got off to a horrendous start. Everyone was bantering us, bottom of the league, and we was playing catch-up for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And if we can get off to a great start, listen, there's nothing like momentum. And you want momentum going in the right direction. So, for me, Leicester at home is a winnable game. They're a good side. They're not in a great place at the moment, Leicester. They've just lost Kasper Schmeichel. Could Tielemans be coming to us? They're going to hear all about that next week.
Listen, this might be his chance to put on a little audition at the Emirates.
There's going to be loads of speculation about that. There's going to be, Newcastle trying to sign Maddison. They haven't made a signing yet, Leicester. They're not in a great place. Their fans are not up, not very happy at the moment, and their board's under pressure to make signings. Sound familiar? That sounds like how we normally are, Arsenal. And when we've been in those positions, we haven't started the season well. No. So it's a good moment to catch them. And then we've got winnable games, away at Bournemouth, newly promoted side, but winnable. Fulham at home, newly promoted side. And Aston Villa. We beat Aston Villa, a good Aston Villa side at home last season. So we could get off to a fantastic start if we continue playing like how we did today. Yeah. As I said, I'm really heartened by the way we stood up to the battle, we stood up to the fight.
Yeah.
That is how you go away at tough grounds and get results.
I agree.
And that's what we've got to do this season, and if we can do that sort of thing, we can have a great season.
I agree. Dwayne is going to round off the whole show with his super chat. He says, Palace away is always tough. Alisson won man of the match for Liverpool there last season. Never easy at Selhurst Park. We move. I can't believe the Premier League is back. I just can't believe it. It's just time flies.
Wow.
I know it's not that, we're talking a couple months, but just still, it's just I remember Brentford's start of last season, how different it feels a year on. but also the disappointment of what happened with Newcastle and Spurs, and we're back in it already. And we got 3 out of 3 points. Not a bad way to start.
Brilliant. And don't forget to check out all the fan cams. Check out the guys they're at the game as well. They must be absolutely buzzing. So many Arsenal fans there today, and it's a fantastic way to start the season. And who should we banter this weekend? I'm going to be focused in on a lot of games. You know what I mean, let's just put it that way.
Listen, there'll be some smug Arsenal fans watching.
Yeah, it's a couple of smug Palace fans I'm going to be on.
The thing is,
actually, you know what I mean. There's one I know very well. You know what I mean. I'll be on his case. You know what I mean.
I was going to say, I'm not sure any of those players around us. There's teams around us actually have the trickiest of fixtures. So
they got away with it, innit?
Yeah, but
the Man United, Brighton though.
Well, listen, Brighton are always a good team, but I think United will get the job done.
Yeah, they're at home, but
well, the Ronaldo story lingers on. So anyway, we can watch it all with a drink in our hands, at least for this weekend, before we come back next weekend for Leicester. Now remember, Tactical Insight out tomorrow. The fan cams are out as well. Player ratings tomorrow. All sorts of reaction coming through the weekend that you can just enjoy. You know, you got the Premier League on, you're watching AFTV, what a way to spend the weekend. I know it's summer and it's sunny, but just stay inside and indulge in all the content. And then, of course, next week we are previewing Leicester, and I can't wait. And listen, the transfer window's still open. We're bogged down in all this. But Arsenal maybe still to do a little bit of business.
I'll be back tomorrow morning with Transfer Daily. Make sure you check it out.
Never ends.
So
there we go.
Fantastic.
We'll leave it there. Big thanks, guys. Thank you to everyone sending in their videos. Like this video if you enjoyed. If you like the new full-time format that we're going for, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, so you get all the updates for when videos are coming. Catch you on the next one.